if we start letting you women get too uppity about being in charge, it's not long for us men.
Now
So
listen, Coop, you know you're preaching.
It's a balancing act.
You're preaching to the pussy hat, right? You know I love my pussy beanie or whatever they are, my knit pussy hat. I used to not be able to say that word. I kind of still can't, but.
What's a pussy hat?
Pussy hat? See?
Oh,
I
pussy
can't
hat.
say it. You know, the pink, whatever they were wearing, the beanies, and then they would just fold in the top and march through the streets.
Making those my side hustle. I thought you knew that.
Women's rights or something? Was it women's?
I have no fucking idea. I just know I saw
We're
a lot
women.
of them, the women with blue hair.
We're women. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we get it. You're
Yeah,
being noisy and obnoxious and interrupting my day.
You. Yeah.
Authorities are desperately searching for a killer accused of going on a rampage.
The search for a possible serial killer.
An urgent manhunt for a man authorities believe is behind a triple killing spree.
Police here speculating that a possible serial killer may have struck again.
Told her to get out of the car, and that's when she became afraid, and then I shot her.
Great way to start the show.
Great start for our for our celebration of being on the charts.
I've been saving up all of this misogyny for so many weeks now. I'm just bursting at the seams.
Right? We haven't seen each other in a couple weeks. In that time, we have our own show.
Yeah.
We have our own show on the charts. Patreon people, thank you, and don't worry. Mm-hmm. We're going to give you all the racism, all the misogyny, all the homophobia. You know what I mean? Like everything that you want. We're not gonna censor ourselves at all.
No, I don't think we're capable of it, honestly. I didn't know that we were doing a podcast until literally when you guys texted me and said that the show was live on Apple Podcasts. I was like, I thought we were just hanging out.
I know. Also we didn't say anything. It wasn't that it was put up like against my will, but it was definitely forced on us by Ross Patterson, and we have to say thank you for that.
Oh yeah,
because I was like,
I think the gun was unnecessary, but
yeah. Because I was like, I'm not stopping you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was talking to him on the phone, and he was like, But yeah, we're excited the way it's going to work for you Patreon fucks. Ruben, shut up.
I can hear him complaining.
Ruben, shut up. Yes, you're going to get the Patreon. You're going to get all of that you want. We're not going to censor ourselves at all. We're going to curse. Okay? We're going to say the F word.
Yeah.
We're going to say the SH word.
Fart shit.
Joel. No, I'm just kidding.
Save it.
Yeah, we're going to say fuck. We're going to say shit. We're going to say ass, hell, damn.
Fart,
yeah.
Midget.
That's
a little too
That's
far.
Coop's
That's
like worst curse word. It's like fart.
You farting M word.
So you'll get the video and audio first on Patreon. And you'll get the real deal, and then the following week it will be released on our feed on Wednesdays. So you'll get your Patreon Friday. Ruben, shut up! You'll get your Patreon Friday, and then you'll get the audio Wednesday. Although I'm figuring they're probably going to be two different groups, right? Like, there's going to be the people that are going to listen on audio are going to be either people that aren't on Patreon or people that don't even know us, God forbid.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that scares me the most, you guys.
Strangers, yeah.
Is strangers finding us and being like, oh my God, I hate her. I hate her voice. Whoever the guy is with the deep voice needs to be... Yeah, the guy that's super into Hitler and and has the beautiful radio voice. Why isn't he talking more? And then the producer...
is asleep all the time.
Why does he not know how murder even works? Do you know what I mean? Like, how does he not know that, like, if a person's head is chopped off, they might be dead?
At this point, I'm surprised too.
Yeah. So I'm just afraid of strangers finding us and being like, what in the fuck? And also, I can't wait to read the 1-star reviews of our podcast. Now, by the way, I'm very sensitive actually, so I don't know if I can. But if you guys want to find some that you think might not hurt my feelings that much, we could do it, right?
Well, believe you me, all three of us are going to be devastated by every single one, but Joel and I are going to do our best to pretend we're
It's
not.
gonna cut to the core, guys.
If we say this, people are going to leave 1-star reviews on purpose.
No, because you guys know, anyone that knows us knows that like 1-star reviews are actually really, really bad for a show. So even if you're being funny, you're like actually fucking with us. So leave a 5-star
with the negative
and then
review.
put the review saying this is my 1-star review.
Yeah,
but make sure that
yeah.
Leave a 5-star. We'll still read it.
Right.
If it's a 1-star.
But I venture that the people that actually leave 1 stars are people that don't know us at all.
They would have tuned out already.
Yes, and they are going to hate us immediately, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And because we're trying so hard to not act bigoted. Is that what they
racist,
said?
Yeah. We have a viral video on TikTok right now, Coop. I don't know if you know.
You were telling me about that before.
It's still going now. I got another message from Danny being like, "Hey, this thing is blowing up," and it was the same one of us.
What is it?
It's just
Who knew
us
that
at
HEB sushi was such a controversial talking point.
We're saying how good the HEB sushi is and how the Chinese men that work there are awesome.
Giving credit where credit's due.
Because they were actually Asian looking.
Oh yeah, I think probably the comments. I mean, I must have been racist with that, right? Because anytime you bring up an Asian, I mean, I gotta have I gotta put in my 2 cents.
Yeah, the reason that we all
up
clicked
into
together
the
so
plane
well
motor.
is
Good rock, right? Every time I gotta put the coins up into the plane motor.
What's a bigot, by the way? Like, actually, what is it?
What is what?
Bigotry and racism. What are the differences?
Oh, Coop, we needed you for the last time. We did a quick 1-star before I left.
You're asking me?
Yeah, you're supposed to know stuff.
Is a bigot? What's the difference between a bigot and a racist? Is bigot more like just every homophobic, like
sexist?
You're against everyone?
Bigotry, I'm assuming I get called both on a regular basis, and I've kind of sussed out that what it is bigotry is general hatred. And then racism is specifically like ethnicity based.
Okay. So you hate a certain group because of how they all always act.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Factually.
That's a Jesselnick joke. So I stole that if you're listening. Okay. So today's a fun case. I forget who told us about it. It was somebody in studio, right? That was here and told us to look up the Todd Kohlhepp. Kohlhepp?
I think it's Kohlhepp. There's a few names in this that I have no idea how to pronounce them.
Kohlhepp. The Amazon review killer. He has a couple different names.
Oh.
Real estate killer, right?
Amazon review killer's way better.
So much better.
Well, it fits in with 1 star. So.
Exactly.
Synergy.
And as you know, we don't love doing just like a, serial killer. We've done a couple and we'll do some heavy hitters sometimes, but they do have to have an interesting, weird story attached because the idea of just a crazy person going out and raping and killing, to me, it just doesn't really do it. Yeah. There's gotta be a little bit of like getting away with it, taunting the police, like,
fun and flirty stuff.
Fun and flirty stuff. Very good, Joel.
The hero's journey.
Yes.
Yeah, the hero's journey.
I need to have some kind of, because the reason, the thing that we do on this show normally, as I've said, if you don't know, if you're just finding us and you've listened this long,
God bless
good for you. I can't wait for the 1-star review of us, but I like to do more of a person that kills one time, either out of passion, rage, or they think that they can get money or get away with it, or divorce never entered their mind. They thought the only thing was killing and then trying to get away with it, and the weird ass fucking shit that people do.
People that you can relate to.
Yeah. Because I just go, I wouldn't have done that. Or I would be like, ding, ding, like clock it to be like, don't make that mistake when you finally, are done with the marriage. Yes.
Could have helped you through this whole thing.
Yep. All right. So, having said that, yes, we're doing the Todd Kohlhepp. We're gonna have to shorten that name in some way. We'll figure it out throughout. The Amazon review killer, Coop. Take it away.
TDK, the Amazon review
TK.
killer.
Let's do TK.
TK, not to be confused with BTK.
Yeah, and
Way
the
too
name
many
of his
killers out
real
there.
estate firm.
What was it?
I'll find it, but it's just letters, almost like BTK. But yeah, RTA. So I was like, rape, torture, assault. You know what I mean? I was trying to think of all the things that he was like, I'll get him. I'll name my. Anyways, I'm
See,
getting
I think
ahead.
that speaks to Todd Kohlhepp as a person, because he
Yes.
couldn't even come up with a good acronym the way that Dennis Rader could.
I know.
Dennis Rader.
Dennis Rader,
Should know
yes.
that. The Waffle House Index is a metric unofficially used by FEMA to determine the severity of storms and other natural disasters. Due to the
fact, yeah.
Actually, yeah, no, it is actually used by FEMA.
Coop, are you being serious?
I'm being dead. I know it's hard to tell sometimes, but I'm being dead serious. FEMA uses the Waffle House Index to determine how severe a natural disaster is.
Coop is being serious. I can see his eyes, and I've known him for a long time.
Wait, what does that mean?
Wow.
Exactly?
Okay, listen.
Right?
No, go ahead. I
No,
thought you were
true story.
joking. I thought it was a joke. Go.
No, that's
Wow.
I was fascinated by it. Due to their reputation for remaining open long after other establishments have been evacuated, if a storm is serious enough to force a Waffle House to close, it's a serious fucking crisis.
Shit, that's awesome.
This is great, Coop.
Waffle House is the heart and soul of America. Not
That's
a lot
why
of
I
people
asked
realize
if you
that.
were high when you wrote this. I'm like, dude, the Waffle House Index?
No, I was,
You were
but I
high as shit. I was like, all right, dude, let's go with it. Okay.
Regardless of how high I am, I have
Right.
a hard time coming up with that.
Okay. I mean, I have faith in you, but go ahead.
It tracks, though. It makes sense.
Right?
It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
The staff at these high-quality restaurants are truly the unsung heroes of America. Something else we can learn from Waffle House is how much of a threat a person is to society. With the amount of insanity that occurs at the average location, you really have to go above and beyond to be singled out as a Waffle House pariah. The subject of this episode is one of the few to achieve the seemingly impossible feat of being too creepy and too violent for these hash brown dispensing Thunderdomes.
That was amazing.
True
That-
fucking story.
That's amazing, Coop.
Have you ever heard of anybody getting banned from a Waffle House before?
No.
Or being singled out as like the shittiest person in a Waffle House?
No. And then, like, there's one on the next street usually. Like, just go
Yeah,
to
just
that
go to the next one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he got banned from the nice one.
Holy shit. Okay. So,
That's who we're talking about? That guy who was banned from a Waffle House?
That's worse than murder.
Sick.
yes.
Yeah, no.
That's the end of the story. We say fucking
I'm hooked.
crime. Yeah.
If they made it this far, everyone's staying for the
Yeah,
end. now.
yeah. Okay, so this case, we're going to go back to an unsolved case from November of 2003. A customer walked into a motorcycle shop in Chesney, South Carolina, looking to make a purchase. Instead of finding a badass motorcycle and a totally not gay leather jacket, I almost wore my leathers today, they found a grisly crime scene. So a customer walks into this bike shop and 4 people had been shot dead inside the building. Among the victims were the owner, Scott Ponder, his mother, Beverly Guy, great names,
Right?
service manager Brian Lucas, and mechanic Chris Sherbert. The crime presented investigators with a conundrum. None of the merchandise had been stolen, and an envelope filled with cash had been left untouched, even though it was sitting in plain sight. The evidence seemed to indicate that this wasn't simply a botched robbery. The person holding the gun had a personal grudge to settle. With what in mind, the police looked to the friends. With that in mind, the police looked to the friends, family members, and other associates of the deceased. Drugs were initially thought to be a factor in the murders. Did you see me do this? Did you see me do this on my computer?
No.
What?
I have paper in front of me. So I just want to make sure, like, if anybody saw it, like, I
Trying to-
realized they did it and tried to play it off.
Trying to scroll through the
You
paper.
just
I
tried to
was
scroll
trying
through
to
the
scroll
paper?
up. Yep.
Okay, in your defense, it's a digital world, and we are very analog.
And I am a
people.
digital girl. Yeah. Okay, drugs were initially thought to be a factor in the murder. Chris was scheduled to appear in court the Monday following the murders to testify in a drug case. Now, if you show pictures of these guys, they're exactly what you think, right? Just like, I think they're is it dirt bike or motorcycle dirt?
They did
bags,
have like
dirt bags.
Dirt bags.
Well, dirt bags, yes, but they did have like super bikes and stuff. They had crotch rockets there.
So they look like motocross dudes from like our high school, right?
Okay.
So badass is what she's saying.
Badass, and one of them definitely needs to go to court on a drug case. Yeah. Investigators believe that he had possibly been murdered to prevent him from turning state's evidence and testifying against others involved in the case. This lead turned out to be a bust. Next, the police looked into the family members of the victims, giving them a fresh lead on the culprit. Melissa Ponder, the wife of owner Scott Ponder, was now in the crosshairs of the homicide detectives after a stinky sting operation. I should have had you read this shit. After a stinky sting operation to obtain a dirty diaper from Scott and Melissa's child, she changed to the baby's diaper because she had them when she was being questioned. And these amazing cops took a diaper and was like, let me get the DNA from this.
Maybe the baby did it.
Yeah. I was like, what? South Carolina, am I right?
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scott and Melissa's child. The investigators cross-referenced the DNA with the victims. Shockingly, they discovered that the child's DNA was a match for service manager Brian Lucas.
Boom.
Instead of her husband, Scott Ponder, right? It seemed as though they had stumbled upon a love triangle. Melissa maintained her innocence. When they told her this, when they said, like, we crossed the DNA and we know that Scott is not the father, it's actually Brian, she was like, what? Was like, no, there's no way that's possible. Check it again. Like, take my DNA, like, take the baby's actual swab, everything, check this again. You're wrong. It came back that yes, it was Brian's son and not her husband's. And so she is
Dodged a bullet there.
She lawyered up right away, which you should always do. She lawyered up at that point and was, basically a suspect, but the police couldn't talk to her because she had a lawyer, thankfully. Melissa maintained her innocence.
The police tried to talk to her and she was like, no, I'm married, thank you.
Yeah, they're like, sorry to inform you.
I'm confused. There was
no kidding.
They found the other dude's nut in the baby diaper?
No.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to anyone that's found us.
And they think
what is your question, really?
How'd they get the DNA of some other dude in the baby diaper?
So
Poop
the
has
guys
DNA
that died, they have them in, an autopsy. They have their DNA because they've died, and they now have them.
And by DNA, is it blood or semen?
There are more
Where
than
they're getting the DNA from.
This may be shocking, but there are more things than blood and semen in the average diaper.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We're not talking about your average diaper. We're talking about a baby. So they cross-referenced whatever, even skin cells can be in the diaper, right? That they can use to cross-reference with the two guys that they have in the morgue, in the fucking,
so they
on the
found
table,
some other
basically.
dude's skin cells in the diaper.
No, so they thought if you check the DNA of a parent and their child, the DNA will match. And you can get the DNA from multiple different sources. It could be spit, it could be
So
poop,
when they were
skin cells.
talking to Melissa, they said they got kind of just a weird feeling. So they decided to see, like, maybe
They're
there's
like, we need to check the diaper poo. Is the right
maybe
thing
like
to do?
this kid is somebody else's. What secrets does she have? Like, let's just see, is this really Scott's kid? Let's start there.
They were probably like, oh, dude, I made a pass at this chick. Her husband's dead, and she totally shot me down. What a bitch.
It was actually
probably something
like,
up with her.
It was actually a really fucking stupid thing to do. Do you know what I'm saying?
You were telling me about that right before the show started. How did they come to that conclusion where they're like, oh, we need to test the baby's DNA and see if it's really hers?
She must have had a
Of
vibe.
all things.
She must have had a vibe, but like what? There's other things to check. Get her DNA. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but like there's other.
Wow, that's weird.
Right?
She
I
must
mean,
have been-
that's
she
just
must
a
have been-
really...
Let's look into those creepy cops, right? Give me that diaper.
Or
Yeah.
like if they're not creepy, what would get you? Like what would get you to think we should check that person's baby's diapers for DNA? Like how would
Look, I
how
mean,
would someone have to act that would make the
it
trigger
was
that
probably
thought?
yeah.
Because
I mean,
the only reason that they would check the DNA in the diaper is if they suspected that she had been
Semen
cheating on
in
her
it.
husband.
Oh.
No.
and so like, why are
That's
you
going
even
to be in
thinking
every
that?
diaper, Joel.
Yeah, why are you even thinking that when you're talking to a widow about like what happened at her husband's bike shop that day? You know what I'm saying? Like what?
You know what?
Yeah.
I bet one of the detectives recently had his wife cheat on him.
100%, or found out a kid wasn't his or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or one of them had slept with her in the past and was like, "Oh shit."
So, oh fuck, is it mine?
Mm-hmm.
Because why else? I can't think of any other reason that they would jump to that conclusion. There's it's got to be a love triangle. Let's
Maybe
check and
It
make
was
sure that
probably
the
one of
baby
those
belongs
things
to
that
one of
like
the victims.
one of those things that like she didn't take any water, she didn't grab, like they get you a soda, they whatever, and they can get DNA that way. So she probably didn't have something to drink, and it was like a split second of like
Grab the diaper.
get to any DNA that we can. Diaper.
Hurry,
you know
find
what I
the
mean?
baby
Or she
shit.
threw it in the trash and they were like, what do we fucking have,
When she looked away, he threw it.
Yeah.
One of the detectives was caught taking it out of the trash. They're like, what are you doing? It's like, evidence.
Yeah.
Evidence.
So, wow, that was a big tangent to
Sorry.
explain DNA to a producer of a crime show. But anyway, sorry.
That's Joel's job here.
Yep, that's his job because there may be people out there that were asking that same dumbass, stupid question to
There's-
themselves. And even
Yeah.
when he asked, I was
It
like,
wasn't that dumb of a question.
no, but you did ask if there was the dude's semen was in the diaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, in Joel's defense, considering some of the cases that we've covered, it wouldn't
It's
be
true.
surprising if that was in
It's
there.
true. We've really warped his mind to a place that he's like, did they jizz in the baby? Like, he would have never thought that was possible before he started doing this show. But okay. Melissa maintained her innocence, was just like, oh my God, no. So again, lawyered up, and they just kind of kept looking into her. For 18 months, she was a suspect. The cops were thinking that wasn't her kid. The Scott's family were against her. She lost, like, everyone is, even in her town, is thinking that she murdered her husband and everyone in the
And
shop.
had a kid with someone else.
She
Yes.
was essentially Demi Moore in the Scarlet Letter. Like
Right.
everybody had ostracized her because they
Yeah.
thought that she was
Wait.
not only a murderer but also cheated on her husband.
Yeah, that's what they were more upset about. Yeah. After further investigation, Melissa was actually proven right. She was not a harlot, and Brian Lucas was not a homewrecker. With no further leads to follow, the police shrugged and said, fuck it. The case went cold soon after. So,
Wait, so what happened?
Oh, sorry. So
How's it?
she claimed that she had never had an affair with Brian, and the child was indeed the result of Scott Ponder shooting sloppy ropes into her baby maker. So I forgot.
Okay,
that
I was
part.
wondering
But
if
no,
you were gonna skip over that because you made a big
so
deal
the
about putting that
police
line in right
actually-
before we started the show.
the police checked again because they were like, dude, we just like don't have any leads. So they checked
They checked
again,
the nut again?
and they had switched the DNA.
So it was semen. It wasn't the baby DNA.
So what,
They had switched Scott, like whoever was the dumb medical examiner, switched the DNA labeling of Scott and Brian. And so they were saying, even though the DNA matched the dad, it had Brian's label on it.
Because he's around too?
He's right next. They got murdered together.
Right.
So the Emmy, whoever's
Multiple
the
different-
medical
I
get
examiner,
it. They swapped it.
they messed it up. And it makes you think, and it's scary, but it makes you think how many times that fucking shit happens.
it's
Oh, yeah.
That like just switching, being like, oh, which one was? I think this was Brian. You know
Yeah,
what I
fuck
mean?
it,
Like,
whatever.
Yeah, just label it Brian, put it over there.
yeah, So DNA evidence is used in a lot of cases, and it's generally trusted a lot. And it can be trustworthy in a lot of circumstances, but you have to trust the people taking the DNA,
Right.
like doing all
If they're labeling it with
all the
tape,
bureaucratic shit
can't trust
that goes
that.
along with it.
Yes.
That's where it can get really, really risky. And there's been a lot of people that have been exonerated because of
Yes.
DNA, and there's been a lot of people that have been convicted and found out later that they were innocent because somebody fucked
because
up the whole
someone
process.
swapped
Yes.
the tape.
Yeah.
Damn.
That like some medical examiner or someone in a lab gets like popped for something else, and then every case that they had worked on has to be reviewed. And when they review it, they find out like,
Oh, he was swapping tape the whole time.
not even just him, but that lab made a shit ton of mistakes. Now you're going to the prison and having to pluck out all these people. Like,
So, and that not only does that put innocent people in prison, that puts guilty people back on the streets because they have to throw everything
Right.
out. All of those cases have become null and void.
because there is.
Well, how many times does it happen the other way, where they make the mistake the wrong way, and someone who murdered their wife, they accidentally switch the DNA, and that guy, they're like, "Oh, it wasn't you," and they're like,
I would say
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
If it can
overall,
happen
probably
right
a
here-
frightening amount.
Yeah, if it can happen right here in this case and many cases.
There was one situation, I don't remember the specific names from it, but there was a situation where police thought that they were tracking down like a nationwide serial killer that had committed murders all across the United States.
Love
And
it.
then way later, they found out that there was just some lady working at the place where they actually made the DNA swabs, the little Q-tips that they used to swab for DNA. And she just wasn't being careful. So it was all her DNA on everything.
All across the country.
And they thought they were tracking
Holy
down a
shit.
serial
and
killer.
she probably wasn't in the system because she was never
'Cause she's
convicted of
fucking
anything or
86
whatever.
and had
'Cause
perfect life. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, is my DNA in the system? Yeah, probably. I've been
Oh, yeah, I'm
arrested,
sure mine
right?
is.
Like,
With the amount of hotels I've stayed in, for
you've
sure.
been booked, or if you've been, I don't know, but
Been booked.
if you've been booked, if you've been rolled up. So then they were just like, fuck it, and the case was cold. So they were like, we fucked up. Let's not bring any more attention to this shit. And
Sweep it under the rug.
let's sweep it under the rug.
While the South Carolina police twiddled their thumbs, a chubby real estate agent named Todd Kohlhepp was busy making amateur attempts at leaving funny Amazon reviews and generally creeping out anyone he met. This guy, you
Creep.
can, oh,
But
God.
both totally normal looking. Like, if you didn't know what he did, he is a completely, just totally normal looking dude.
He looks,
dude.
yeah, he looks like the kind of guy that you'd walk by on the street and be like, oh, he looks like he probably does, I don't know, something that makes good money.
Right.
And that's it.
Right. He's
And when
in
he was
some kind
younger,
of
he-
sales. He's in some kind. He works at an office. Whatever.
Definitely looks like a salesman, like an
does he
aggressive
drive?
car salesman.
What does he drive? Prius?
Motorcycle.
No.
No, but like, oh god,
I don't know.
a dirt bike,
Yeah, I have
Yep.
no idea.
He drives a dirt bike to work. Okay.
moped.
Creepy.
While those hobbies are already enough to get anyone ostracized from their local community, Todd's real hobbies were much, much worse. As usual, the story begins with a broken home. Todd Christopher Samsel was born March 7th, 1971 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. First red flag.
Yep, red flag.
Yep.
When his parents divorced in 1973, his mother gained sole custody. Second red flag.
Single. Parent.
Custody should always go to the dad. We know
Right?
that.
Come
yeah.
We'll find out later. The dads are the cool ones that
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
explosives and shit.
They fucking fuck. That didn't even make sense.
Oh, no, it does, considering Todd's biological father. The following year, his mother, Regina Tague, married a man named Carl Kohlhepp, giving little Todd a new daddy and a new last name. As it turned out, Carl was a colossal asshole, and Regina wasn't winning Mother of the Year anytime soon. So as a result, Todd spent his childhood neglected and abused. I know I have a bad habit for showing a little bit of empathy to the upbringing to a lot of these people, because it looks like if you look into the upbringing of almost every major killer or serial killer, they've had a pretty traumatic childhood. But you kind of have to be a bit of a piece of shit to cross that line and turn into a full-blown murderer.
I think so. Yeah.
And the narcissism that goes in with it. We've talked about it on the show before, that there's a narcissistic angle to like every single killer.
Yes. Todd himself followed in the footsteps of his parents, obviously, and became a piece of shit at a very young age.
He was a go-getter.
Yeah. He was, just carbon copy. Likely influenced by the example set by his parents, the young sociopath was a bully with an explosive temper. He was known to destroy his classmates' belongings and argue with teachers. His behavior even got him kicked out of the Boy Scouts, which is hard to do because he was a good-looking kid. You know what I'm saying? Meaning he was a cute kid. They could have just been like, well, you got problems and no parents are coming to pick you up. So you are perfect. Why are we kicking you out, right? Fuck the Boy Scouts. Meaning he was too much. What? You guys know that, right? Were you Boy Scouts?
I was never a Boy Scout, thank God.
I was a Cub Scout, and I blossomed early.
Right. You learned a lot on those camping trips. Meaning he was too much of a pain in the ass to bother molesting during a camping trip. Sorry, Coop. I took your joke. I took your joke, Coop.
No, you didn't. You made it better.
No, we just
made it much, much better.
We think alike. As it is with many serial killers, Todd began to show concerning traits at a young age. In particular, he was fond of abusing and killing animals. That's a hallmark, right? As you were saying, they do have to have some underlying, like a borderline or narcissistic, and then hating the mom is a good one, or the mom being too loving. But the mom presence is a hallmark of serial killer.
Ed Gein,
abusing animals, hallmark,
is a
peeing
big
in
one.
the bed.
Jeffrey Dahmer abused animals. Ed Gein had a
so lucky.
fairly unhealthy relationship with his mother.
Right, yeah. You think?
I have all of them except for the animal abuse one. That's how I survived not becoming a murderer.
Oh, really? Do you
Because
wet
I love animals.
We probably talked about...
I've made it clear that I pissed the bed for a long time.
For a long time. Until you're too late.
I peed the bed
late
last
20s.
Yeah. Last night. Well, you're unwell. I don't know if anyone could tell, but...
I'm fine.
Joel's fine. He's a trooper, but I don't know if he's fine.
Hey, I still made it into work.
I know. That's why I'm
6 hours late. But
that's why I'm like, you're a trooper, so we won't actually know if you are really bad and need to go to like urgent care. So you gotta.
I made it through it.
You gotta let me know.
We've both known this guy for close to 20 years now. He's not going to a hospital unless somebody literally drags him to a hospital.
True.
You're not going to know anything's wrong with him.
I know.
Until like, he's on his deathbed.
I know.
I'm like,
so we gotta
a shitty cat with cancer.
If it's tomorrow,
it acts like it's totally normal, and then all of a sudden you take it to the vet, and you're like, this cat,
and they're like
is full
riddled with cancer.
He shouldn't be alive.
This cat died 6 years ago.
Yeah. This cat has literally 1 hour to live. Yeah. So if it's still going on tomorrow, we're gonna have to take you. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I'm fine now.
Sure.
That's what the cats say.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was fond of abusing animals. He would shoot dogs with his BB gun, and at one point, he killed a goldfish with bleach because he wanted a hamster instead. Now, by the way, if you're a kid...
Okay, that segue made me curious.
If you're a kid that wants a hamster and your parents won't get it for you, and you threaten to put the bleach in, and you put the bleach in and kill the goldfish, I bet you're gonna get the hamster.
Right?
Just saying.
Okay, thank God. That vindicates.
So like it wasn't. These are the beginnings of his like real estate wheeling and dealings kind of like negotiation. Because like, look, okay. His parents are like,
oh man, Todd, you drive a hard bargain.
All right, man. Okay, you're getting the hamster. Yeah.
They got him it.
Probably.
Oh.
Either they he drove a hard bargain or they were scared as shit of him and they were like, okay, here's the hamster, don't kill this one. The hamster likely wouldn't have fared better than the dogs or the goldfish, I'm sure.
Now see, I like the direction that your mind went with that, because what I was thinking is like, oh, he's an alchemist, he's trying to turn a hamster or a goldfish into a hamster.
Oh shit, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I think
Or they
He
didn't
was
know.
straight up trying to kill an animal.
Yeah, he was. I was giving him too much credit.
Yeah. It's easy to demonize someone who ended up becoming a demon. That being said, it's worth noting that Todd was also a product of his environment. The years of neglect and chaotic home life scarred him. At the age of 9, his behavioral issues had become so severe that he was sent to live in a mental institution for over 3 months. Dude. Not exactly something you would see in an episode of The Brady Bunch. Not even a very special episode.
No, the very special episode is where the dad dies of AIDS.
Yeah, Jan goes to a fucking mental institution.
Marsha.
Yeah. Oh, God. We could probably recut one of the episodes and make it
Make it look like that.
real scary, right?
And turn her into a serial killer?
We can do
dude,
colorizing, we can edit, and we can add weird music.
Dude, just make it all like sepia toned and
Yeah.
some hard cuts here and there.
Take it away, Coop.
Todd's mother and stepfather weren't a loving couple. The two had fought almost since the beginning of their relationship. When Todd was around 12 years old, things came to a head and the couple filed for divorce. Aw. Not wanting a hormonal sociopath around to make things more complicated, which, okay, I get it at this point with the mom and the stepdad getting divorced. You got Todd Kohlhepp as your stepson or son.
Oh.
The divorce is already going to be complicated, and then you have to deal with having Jeffrey Dahmer in your house. Yeah, you're probably going to just send him to live with the dad.
And, like, usually parents will say, like, it's not your fault.
It was
fucking his fault.
It was totally
yeah.
his
They would have
fault.
had a great marriage without that fucking kid, don't you think?
Todd was sent to live with his biological father in Tempe, Arizona, which that's out of the frying pan into the fire. From there, things really started to go downhill. Todd's biological father, fucking legend, by the way.
Oh, yeah. This is the one we want to party with, huh?
This guy sounds cool as shit to hang out with as an adult. Not as a child. You don't want to be raised by him, but this is the kind of guy that would be fun to get drunk with.
Right.
William Samsel was pretty much what you would expect. He was a womanizer and regularly neglected Todd to go out with the local harlots.
Cool.
William was also a bit of a liar, claiming to be a former Special Forces soldier, mercenary, and illegal arms dealer. So he is every single person that ever sent a letter to that, what was that mercenary magazine, Soldier of Fortune?
I don't know if that's
every single letter that you would read in Soldier of Fortune was written by one of these guys.
Did you guys ever hang out with Crazy John in Ventura? Do you remember Crazy Screwball Eyes ever? No.
If I saw him, I'm sure I would.
Okay.
Wait,
That's
was he the one that
was?
Was he the homeless guy that walked around?
Yeah, and he rode like the tricycle thing. So
redhead, always wore the olive drab.
He had gray hair. He was grayed
He was
up.
blonde.
Okay, I'm thinking of somebody
blondish. Else. Okay, you may be thinking someone else, but
there's a lot out there.
He was called Crazy John, no teeth, kind of like that, underbite thing.
Oh yeah, not the one I'm thinking of. I never met Crazy John.
Well, that's what he like. We knew all of his stories were complete bullshit, but it was entertaining to like sit there and like
listen to
these what he comes up with, and with such conviction tells us. Do you know what I mean? That like, so this is what this guy reminds me of. It's like, I bet his friends were just like, oh yeah, and then what happened then? You know what I mean? Like, and then you shot who?
A good liar can be the best storyteller.
And so entertaining. And if you have someone else there to be like, it can be really funny.
On the bright side, he did find time to connect with his son by teaching him how to blow shit up and bond over their mutual love of collecting weapons. So it wasn't all bad. It does sound like he would be a fun fucking guy to hang out with. He blows shit up, gets drunk, goes out and
Cool
parties.
stories.
Tells fucking crazy stories about how he killed JFK. You know what I mean? And you're just like, oh, how? You know what I mean? And he has this crazy story.
Oh, dude,
and then you blow something else
Let
up.
me tell you this one thing. This is going to blow your mind. JFK killed himself. Watch the video, dude. Watch
and then he puts on the video. It loops like over and over. And you're just like, yeah, dude, for sure.
In 1986, 3 years after moving in with his father, Todd committed his first horrendous crime. And this one, it is
know.
bad.
It's really bad.
He had developed a crush on a girl in his neighborhood, but as we learned before, Todd wasn't what you would call a people person. Adding made-up insult to delusional injury, the girl also had a boyfriend. So Todd used the only tools in his toolkit, anger and violence.
Nice. So in October of 1986, Todd told the young girl that she needed to come with him because her boyfriend was looking for her. And he's how old at this time? 15?
14 or 15.
He's
something
14
like
or 15. And so's the girl, right?
she was a little bit older, but no older than 16.
Okay. Todd told the young girl that she needed to come with him because her boyfriend was looking for her. Once he had lured her away from her home, he pulled a pistol that he got from Cool Guy, I'm sure. He pulled the pistol and took her to his home at gunpoint. There, he bound and gagged his victim before sexually assaulting her. After the attack was over, he threatened to kill the girl's family if she spoke to anyone about it. Thankfully, the assault was reported to the police, and the long arm of the law came knocking. He actually walked her back home and told her the whole time he was going to kill her if she said anything, but walked her back.
What the
Okay,
fuck?
full disclosure, I thought about making a joke about him being a gentleman for walking her home, but that is so
Damn.
fucking dark considering the once I found out more details
To
about
make
what
sure
was going
that she
on,
wouldn't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was
It's
At
gotten dark
15,
now.
he was already a professional in this world.
yeah.
Ugh.
I can't think of anybody that I've met around that age that has that sort of approach to anything at 15 years old. I've met a lot of people that are over the age of 20 that do that kind of shit.
Just a
I mean,
quick
some of them
question.
are pretty cool, but
Again,
I mean, in general.
of course he went into sales, right?
Quick question, bro, real quick. That's not how you're supposed to take a girl home? Just kidding.
Oh, walk with her with a gun and threaten to kill her if she tells anybody? Yeah, I mean, look. Who among us, right? But
People in glass houses.
right. When police arrived at Todd's home, he was sitting by himself holding a rifle. After being informed that he was under arrest, he simply asked, "How much time am I going to get for this?" The answer was 15 years. Todd was tried as an adult, convicted, and sent to prison.
Fuck yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Should have been a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, we maybe should have.
But there's a certain amount of time that you can send people to prison for specific crimes. So,
Yeah.
anyway, after serving 14 years, Todd was released on August 1st, 2001. He was a changed man.
Sure.
Totally changed. Turned his life around.
Totally.
While in prison, he had gotten a bachelor's degree in computer science and began working as a graphic designer. In 2003, Todd returned to college to earn a degree in business administration and got his real estate license along the way.
Wow.
He soon earned himself a reputation as the top-selling agent in North Carolina and began raking in the cash.
Told you.
Good for him. He did his time,
Can you imagine
learned
the
from
person
it, and made a good money.
showing you the house with the cookies out or whatever?
Him?
Do you know what I
Todd
mean?
doing
Is
it?
like
You don't know, but
that you
that's
don't know that they raped and
Did all that shit.
totally
I think real estate agents are creepy enough already.
I think maybe we
But,
should assume they all did that.
Yeah, I think now
from
I
this
think
point,
it's
from this
Yeah,
point on.
actually.
I think I just
Yeah.
learned. Yeah, they've all murdered somebody.
especially in Austin.
Yeah,
They all got their license last week.
Yeah,
But
yeah, they all have dirty closets.
With his newfound wealth, Todd purchased a 100-acre piece of property near Moore, North Carolina, which he began turning into his own little slice of heaven. By heaven, obviously, he turned it into a
A rape den? Oh no.
combination of both.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Todd may have turned his life around in a financial sense, but he was still a sick piece of shit that he'd always been. The money had fanned the flames of his ego and made him more entitled than ever. It was his ego that led him to commit his first murders. That seems to be a pretty common thing with a lot of people that we talk about, is the ego and the full-blown self-confidence and narcissism that they all seem to have.
But they usually start out as, a kid that was like him, beaten by his father, grandfather, like horribly abused. So there's no reason for them to come out of that with some confidence. But something happens like a Dahmer where he, he goes to gay bars and people start actually talking to him, thinking that he's, cute. It's easy for him to get people back. And that's all they need is one little thing of like, right? Because they're already kind of thinking it. So they, I don't know.
So they're getting some validation for what it is that they think about themselves to a certain degree. With Dahmer, I can kind of get it. I mean, fairly handsome guy for what he was doing. With Todd?
No, but so he didn't get his confidence from people thinking he was good looking or anything. He got his confidence from making money. If he's doing well in real estate, there's people that are at his company that are praising him constantly, right? There's customers that are, people that he sold houses for or bought houses for, whatever, that are just like, he's the best. And all you need is a little bit of confidence to be like, I could fucking do this shit I've always wanted to do, which is
for him
kill some people. You know what I'm saying? Like before that, you're just kind of like, they're like, I don't know. Maybe. What do I know?
Let's try it. Give me a bunch of confidence for the next 2 weeks and see if I murder someone.
Oh, please.
Okay, that was a totally different direction that I was going to take.
Exactly.
That. I was going to start insulting her.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, we don't want her to murder anyone. There's no surprise. Considering it should come as no surprise that a bruised ego was all it took. Oh, considering what we know about Todd, it should come as no surprise that a bruised ego was all it took for him to decide to end the lives of 4 strangers. In April of 2003, he purchased a Suzuki GSX R750. Ugh.
Oh,
God. It's just, might as well just say fucking gay ass homosexual. R2G53 from Superbike.
I was waiting for you to take the lead on that one. Because, I mean, come on.
Come on.
If you're going to be buying a motorcycle to look tough, you don't get a Suzuki.
Suzuki.
If you want to look like a fuckboy, sure.
ABCDEFG 725. Please. From Superbike Motorsports. Remember Superbike Motorsports? Because every man approaching his 40s needs a motorcycle to make him feel fuckable.
Damn, Jesse.
Sorry.
That's a little harsh.
Truth. You wrote it. Todd was only able to feel cool cruising around on his new bike for a few days before it was stolen from his property. According to Todd, when he returned to the shop later that year to make another purchase, the employees cracked some jokes at his expense, irreparably damaging his tender feelings. With his ego bruised, Todd took the only course of action that would make him feel better about himself. He grabbed his pistol and returned to the store to murder the employees.
Damn.
Todd entered the shop through the back entrance and discovered Chris Sherbert working on a bike. He gunned down the 26-year-old mechanic and continued on to the showroom where he gunned down Beverly Guy, the mom, Brian Lucas, and Scott Ponder. Remember? Diaper, DNA. And made a run for it. But Todd shot Lucas to death before he could get through the door. He then pursued Scott into the parking lot where he shot the fleeing man multiple times in the back. No witnesses survived the attack.
Is there anything that could drive either one of you to the point where you would think like, oh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a gun, I'm going to go back to the store, and I'm going to kill every single person in the store? I mean, Sephora.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Yes. You? Hell, there's must have been times, let's say at the H-E-B sushi counter, And you're like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. If my Texas crunchy roll tastes like shit, I have to go through the line at HEB to buy that shit.
Yes.
Drive all the way home and find out that it's old.
Yeah, it's just not like you can't just like ask the waiter.
But I mean, those aren't
for a re-roll. You know what I'm saying? You're already home. You already have it. No, I don't know, but I know that I've definitely been in situations where I'm like, I could kill you.
Crossing the line between thinking it and doing it, though.
Oh, for sure.
That's part of the process that I just can't understand.
Yeah.
And on a weird level, I think like, damn, the confidence that you have to do that.
But with him, he's always like, he is a simmering pot of wanting to do that. So literally all you have to do is like pull out in front of him. You know what I mean? Like for him, he was wanting to do it anyways.
Just waiting
and
for
maybe
a
a justified, and he was also a rage monster too. Even as a kid, would fucking rage out.
I can't even imagine
any
being
indiscretion.
Like I thought that I was an angry kid, and I can't imagine at my angriest moment thinking I'm going to go get a gun and I'm going to murder 4 random strangers at a store that just laughed at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I will say this, when you go to those kind of places, let's say like a skate shop or something, surf shop, whatever, like those motherfuckers in there are already the worst.
Look, I'm not saying there's not some people that deserve it.
Any of those fields where it's just like, they're just like so cool. All it is like employees and then like people, skaters or surfers hanging out. And you have to like, wade through the like friends that already are like bad at, and be like, hey, I don't know anything. What's up?
And they
like,
laugh at you because you're not getting
like,
a longboard first, and you're like, I don't understand why I need a longboard first.
Well, what are you wanting to do? And you're just like, I don't know. Like, I just kind of want to like go out.
You're making me want to kill them right now.
Do you know what I mean?
Actually, yeah.
So that's what, right? So like that's what happened to him.
You're the expert. Just tell me what I should be doing as a beginner.
Just walk away from your fucking cronies, jabronis, for a second, and like work and help me.
We are on the very cutting edge of justifying murder, and I know that we can't go there, but
you guys have been there.
I say we find the closest skate shop and just go in there and murder those motherfuckers right now.
Okay, don't say it. You don't say it while we're being recorded, though.
Well, there's a bike shop. There's a bike shop in Austin. I'm not going to say the name. Well, I really like it, but I'm still not going to say the name. And it's like one of those places that it's all, they have both, like a beach cruiser, a kid's bike, and then they also have like the highest end of, fiber, whatever, the lightest bike ever thing for like pro cyclists.
The homosexual stuff.
Yeah. And so you go in there and it's like, exactly what I'm talking. Like the guys are all like pro, either BMX or they're like road bike or whatever. And it's just
they'll have the weird bodies.
Way that they talk to you. Like, I don't know anything. And he walks up. He's like, oh, yeah, what's up? He's like, he's like, what are you riding? What are you riding these days? And I'm like,
no, this
dude,
is something
you don't even know. Yeah.
It fucking pisses me off, too. I hate to use this term, but gatekeeping.
Yes.
Where it's like,
yes.
Oh, so you don't know what you're supposed to get. Well, what?
Yes. And so then it's kind of a like, almost like, I need to explain DNA to you. You know what I mean? Just kidding. I love you. I'm joking. But it's like, it's almost like they're like, they don't. I think there's a Portlandia episode with it, right? That it's just like,
what it is. Like
this place is lame now. Like there's too many people here. Dude, before this place used to be only pro cyclists and these fucking moms are coming in. Like that. I hate that.
Dude, I do too. I think pretty much everybody fucking hates it outside of the people that are the ones that are doing the gatekeeping where it's like, I've got this, I have this specific situation where I can lord all of this information over you. So I'm just going to lord it over you and make myself feel so much better because this is the only thing that I know anything about.
Yeah. So I go,
not saying it justifies murder, but fuck those
for
people.
Sure. So he goes, what are you riding these days? And I'm like, my college diploma? What about you? My bachelor's degree? What are you riding these fucking days, loser? No. So it's that. It's like that. And I immediately feel, it makes you feel, no matter who you are, it makes you feel immediately like back in high school, not cool. There's someone that's fucking cool and they're not being like taking you under the wing. They're like outing you and you can't ever recover.
See, and those kind of people, that's...
So he fucking shot them. You guys get it now?
I get
Everybody
it.
understands that now.
So pretty much what we're saying is don't fucking do that shit. You're going to get fucking shot.
Yeah, and I don't like to victim
Jesse.
blame.
No,
I don't like to victim blame, but especially at a fucking dirt bike place. Talk about gatekeeping.
Oh God, I went from riding one bicycle to a bigger bicycle.
Yeah,
fucking cool, bro.
That I don't have to like. I could be 500 pounds to ride. You know what I mean? If I wanted.
Jesus.
Uncovering a lot of childhood trauma.
Yeah,
here.
there's a lot of heat in the room right now.
Sorry. So.
But.
Well, it was a good question from Coop, which is what could push you. What could push somebody to maybe go back into a bike shop and murder people?
Apparently, a bruised ego.
Ha I would. Yeah.
I can answer
I
that.
wouldn't. Yes, I wouldn't. I see what you're saying.
Well, it's
that piece.
the
obviously
idea
I have
behind it,
the
not
piece.
the actual actions.
Right. Obviously, I have the piece that I just go to my car and seethe about it, right, and not go back in.
And thank God neither one of us have a gun.
I know, right? Seriously.
I don't think either one of us, all three of us, none of us should ever.
No.
own
We're not
guns.
gonna. No, we're fine. You guys, we want everyone else to have the guns.
Yeah, everyone
to
else
protect
have the
us or
guns
protect themselves, but we can't do it.
I think I would have murdered somebody a long time ago.
We
if I
go
had
into
guns.
we go into too many bike shops, skate shops, and surf shops.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna fucking kill somebody.
Oh,
Anyway.
yeah, it's danger to myself and others. That's why I keep them at arm's length.
Keeping on the tangent, have you guys ever seen
No, I'm into
Dogtown and Z-Boy, like that fucking... Do you remember like all the documentaries
the
on
skate
Dogtown?
docs? Yeah.
Yes. Those motherfuckers in that shop, if I
Bring
had
it.
walked into that shop with all those little fucking kids and whatever, and they're still trying to sell stuff, and all it is the fucking Z-Boys in Dogtown hanging out in this fucking skate shop.
Motherfuckers.
Fuck
Yeah.
off. That's why your shop
Doesn't exist
closed
anymore.
down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you weren't selling anything. You were literally just a hangout
And
for gatekeepers.
that is why rollerblading is always going to be cooler than
Yes.
skateboarding.
No.
Yes,
Fight me.
I would have rollerbladed right into that shop and went,
It got jumped.
yeah. I would have slid in like this and been like, who's cool now? Dogtown, Z-Boy.
You would plan that whole thing, and when you got there to slide to a stop, you would have fell.
Yeah, because they don't slide. It's rubber, so I would
Yeah, so you
actually just...
Oh, and
Just fall.
even worse, when you fell, nobody would notice.
yeah. They'd all still be talking about like...
That. They're like, oh, it was
Yeah,
just
the
Jesse.
best wheels in their trucks. Like, are you tightening your fucking... Anyway. Sorry, go ahead, Coop.
Oh yeah. So according to Todd,
Bones Brigade.
can we just
Okay,
spend
sorry.
Can we spend the?
Now
no,
we have
I'm
to-
into it. Can we spend the remainder of the episode just
We
talking
have
about
to.
people at bike shops and skate shops,
We have to.
surf shops?
Was there a skate shop in
I lived in
Ventura? We
California
won't.
for 27
Yeah, there was
fucking
5
years, and I
points.
never surfed because the surf
Yes.
shops were so fucking douchey.
Dude,
Yes.
I used to go to the
What was the skate shop?
It was called 5 Points. It used to be
Yes.
right there next to Bilio's. Yeah, I used to go
Was
there.
it not like that? I mean, you were obviously on the inside, so you probably don't
It was-
notice the
it was
mom
awesome.
walking in.
It was awesome for me.
Yeah,
I
because
love
you
going
were
there.
you were
5
standing by the
points?
register, fucking
I was
talking to
shooting
your
skate
friends.
videos. Yeah, I was one of them. I was the one with the camera hanging out. I had
Wait,
a
5 points.
sponsor.
Did Bill the Butcher run it?
Yeah, it was like that.
Yeah.
So you're against Irish people?
Dude, it was actually
you very much.
right next door to 5 Point Skate Shop was a speaker shop. So I would hang out at the skate shop while I got subs put into my Camaro when I was like 18.
Nice.
You paid for them?
Yeah.
We're friends.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
You would have gotten my Camaro. There's no doubt about it. you know?
yeah. I would be like, what?
Fuck that.
up?
What's
yeah,
up,
yeah.
douchebag, get in.
You know, honestly, it worked on me. And 20 years later,
Yeah. Here
Still
we
got
are.
the same
some
one.
regrets, but not enough regrets to make me look back.
Here we are. We all got in the Camaro, so to speak.
Yeah.
We all got in the Camaro in some way.
on multiple levels.
Okay, I
So
promise.
according
Go.
to Todd, when he returned to the shop later that year to make another purchase, the employees cracked some jokes at his expense, which, by the way, watch yourselves.
Now you guys get it. We put some context on this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are on Todd's side now. Okay.
And with his ego bruised, cracked some jokes at his expense, irreparably damaging his feelings. With his ego bruised, Todd took the only course of action
Oh, no,
that
I
would
did
make
that
him
one.
feel. Oh, you already did. All
So
right.
you are, those of you who listen to our show, we're moving on to his Amazon review
backtracked a bit, didn't
days.
I? So those of you who listen to our other show, One Star, will know that when certain people have what they consider to be a bad experience at a business, they leave a bad review instead of murdering all the employees. If we swap the two of those, there would be a whole lot less one-star reviews.
Yeah.
It's surprising that Todd didn't leave a one-star review on top of murdering 4 employees, as his favorite hobby was writing Amazon reviews.
That's
Thus
so weird.
giving him the name the Amazon Killer.
It was his
Rapey Todd?
It was his calling card, essentially, right? Like a BTK sending letters to victims and the police and stuff.
Yeah, I thought there would be a
It
whole
was-
lot more of them, considering the fact that they call him the Amazon Killer, and I
Yeah.
could only find like 6 or 7.
Yeah, I think they've taken down.
Are they good reviews?
There's an entire subreddit of his reviews, and it's like 7 of them.
Okay.
Starting in 2014, Todd began reviewing items he purchased on Amazon.
Oh, that's cute.
Not just any items, though. He specifically left reviews for items he had used or intended to use for criminal purposes. Among his reviews was a 5-star review for an SOG entrenching tool, which is a small military-style folding shovel. And his actual review reads as follows, and I quote,
Oh shit! Should I put the? I should put the 1-star song in right now.
Okay.
Should we do a 1-star intro?
We have to.
Okay, yeah.
We're now getting
yeah.
into a 1-star review show for a little bit.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Just happened.
It's done. Okay. So this is a 1-star review of.
So Todd Kohlhepp says, keep in car for when you have to hide the bodies and you left the full-size shovel at home. Does not come with the midget, which would have been nice.
Where was he? I'm so mad that he's in not
Prison?
here. Prison. Spoiler alert. But because my gosh, what kind of that show would be great. He would be the best 1-star reviewer on this show.
Wait, have him on? In
No,
studio?
read his reviews.
Oh,
Could we?
Jesus! I was like, what?
Oh, you know I'm a big loser. I can't even. No.
No, hey.
I would be way too scared. Yeah. So that was a 5-star review. So this is a 5-star review he left for a Viper Tech VTS 979 stun gun.
Okay.
Seriously trying to find a reason to zap one of my real estate agents for being lazy. It's going to be the new office motivational tool. He's writing this on Amazon.
And also, it just doesn't make sense, like finding an excuse to zap him for being lazy.
That's your
It's not an
excuse.
excuse. It's, you zap him for being lazy.
Look, he's a
that's-
real estate agent. He has like a certificate. Okay.
It's roughly like one
Yeah.
one level of, no, it's parallel to a nursing license.
Right.
So he also left a review for a Husqvarna chainsaw, which said, quote, works excellent. Getting the neighbor to stand still while you chase him with it is hard enough without having an easy-to-use chainsaw.
Like he's
Wow.
I think
he's baiting. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like BTK and others, like they want people to know what they've did. So he's crossed over into a world of like, I want people to know.
Well, it
that
probably
I
gets
do
him
this
off
shit.
to write that, too.
Yes.
He's probably like, oh, like
Yeah.
in the moment.
This idea that like he could get caught or people could like, know
only-
about him.
Yeah,
the
well, it's
fame
also
of that.
It's the only way you can nut into diapers.
It's the same shit that makes BTK
Weasley.
so
Wienery.
fucking wienery.
Yeah.
the only reason that he wanted to do any of that was to get the cred. And now this guy's doing it in a much like weaker way.
BTK was actually like hard for him to do it. He was actually like you know what I mean? Like he was real clunky and would sit down and have cereal and cry about it after. Like he was such a loser.
It's like, grow the fuck up. Is this your first time serial
killing?
You
did the crime. But that part was the grossest thing that he's ever done, is sitting down and eating cereal and crying after in the person's house.
There are so many things that I hate about the BTK killer that...
Are we ever going to cover that?
Now, he is my, not favorite, but it was the person, the serial killer, the story that got me kind of into true crime. Weird that I'm not really into serial killers, but it was his just monotone retelling of what he did and why that was fascinating as far as like, whoa, like this person's mind is completely different than a normal mind.
He played the part really, really well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you could tell, so BTK is the weed of heroin. Like weed gets you into drugs and that ultimately leads to heroin.
Right.
Obviously.
Right.
Track marks on my arms. That's how it works.
That's how it goes.
But yeah, with BTK, it was so sensational and so out in the open. He took so many Polaroids, super easy to find on the internet, and it's interesting. It's like watching a movie.
Right. So he's, as far as like, again, not my favorite, but he was a case that got me wondering about how a mind like that works, right? Or how different it is.
Yeah, like BTK is the gateway drug to Ted Bundy to Carl Panzram kind of thing.
Right. Okay, so the most ominous reviews Todd left for his Amazon purchases was for 2 master lock padlocks. One review stated, "Solid locks, have 5 on a shipping container, won't stop them, but sure will slow them down till they're too old to care." Weird.
Why would he mention a shipping container?
Why would he mention a shipping container and talk? What are you talking about? What's too old to care? Not the locks. Okay.
Weird. So
the other padlock.
Other review says, "Works great. Also, if someone talks back, go old school on them by putting this in a sock and beating them. They will not appreciate the hardened steel like you will. Also, works great for shipping containers."
What the fuck is wrong with this motherfucker?
The 2 reviews for the padlocks were foreshadowing for the crime that would finally lead to Todd getting what he had coming. On November 3rd, 2016, police in Moore, South Carolina were investigating the disappearance of 30-year-old Kayla Brown and her boyfriend, 32-year-old Charles Carver. Tracing the last known whereabouts of the couple led them to the home of a successful real estate agent named Todd Kohlhepp.
So what happened with this couple is what Todd would also do. Do we say that? So what he would also do is put out listings for people to come clean his house or for handyman stuff, basically just kind of working with people. And this couple, so this couple actually went to clean his house, but had worked with him for a while.
Yeah,
like he had done handyman stuff. Do you say this in here?
No.
Okay. He had done handyman stuff at their house. And then she would go clean his different listings, had worked with him many times.
Okay.
So it was something that he just, he had people do, and he either, I don't know. It's brilliant. It's like the tutor.
It is
it's one of those things where it's just like, and be fucking cool for a really long time. He was He was good at this.
It is honestly surprising that he got away with it for so long.
But he was because,
like he was so brash about everything, but
that's why.
I think that he's got that used car salesman approach that you were talking about.
And if you do, if you clean somebody's listing and everything's fine, if they come to your house and work on your house and everything's fine, it's like by the third time, you totally trust this person.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me 3 times.
We're cool now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I trust you and we're fucking cool. Like,
we're best friends.
We're best friends. I'm like, So while searching the property, the 100-acre property that we talked about, that was going to be his little
like
piece
Winnie
of
the
heaven.
Pooh, the 100-acre woods.
The 100-acre woods that he turned into heaven for him.
Yeah.
Investigators discovered, so the way that they got tipped off to this property is it was the last place that Kayla and Charlie's cell phones pinged, right? And they found a shipping container that had been locked with multiple master lock padlocks. Once they forced their way in, they discovered Kayla Brown. They had been missing for months at this point, right?
Yeah,
Kayla and her boyfriend. Yeah. She was chained to a wall. Todd Kohlhepp had held her captive for 60 days. Her boyfriend, Charlie Carver, was nowhere to be seen. Fuck. When the police asked if she knew where he was...
She does.
Hang on. There's a video of this also.
She survived?
Of what? Of her talking? Of her
being rescued.
There is?
Yeah.
Find that.
Oh, shit.
Hey, Joel, can you
do
an overlay?
Yeah, I could put one on. Not right
Kayla
now.
Brown, not a whale penis. Kayla Brown being...
Joel... He did a whale penis.
It's a whale penis.
Okay.
If I can't find the video, it's going to be a whale penis.
Okay. So
I will send you the video. There,
yes.
Yeah, you can actually find
send
the police body cam footage of them cutting
pulling
into
her down.
Creepy.
No, it's not pulling her down. Like there's a shipping container that they cut into. And then once they get inside, she's just inside, chained to the wall, and she's got a blindfold on.
Oof.
She is, dude. Kayla Brown is a badass.
Yeah.
She is so insanely calm during the whole process.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's not even.
It's weird.
phasing her.
There's Reddits about that too.
Yeah, she is.
She's gonna end up killing somebody.
There's some stuff on her, but we'll get into that later. So once they had forced their way in, they discovered Kayla Brown chained to the wall. Todd Kohlhepp had held her captive for 60 days. Her boyfriend Charlie was nowhere to be found. When the police asked if she knew where he was, she said yes. He had been shot to death by Todd Kohlhepp and buried on the property. On November 3rd, 2016, Todd's crimes were finally discovered. Police rescued Kayla Brown from captivity and immediately started snitching about everything Todd had told her. As usual, Todd was a full-blown delusional narcissist that loved to brag about all the cool things he had done. One of the things he had bragged about was the mass shooting at the Superbike Motorsports.
Fuck.
Police were
and he had a
sent.
motorcycle, which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. He had one of those ABCD fucking 750 fucking gays. 1, 2, 3 gays. XXTs. Police were sent to arrest Kohlhepp. While searching his property, police discovered the corpses of Johnny Joe Kohlhepp.
Okay, this is a fucked up name. I thought it was Coxie. It might be Cohy or Coxie. It's
feels French, but yeah.
Coxie.
I would say Kohlhepp, right?
Joe Kohlhepp and Megan Lee McCraw Kohlhepp. Which, by the way,
Megan
that's
Lee
good
McCraw.
name.
Gonna let your wife hyphenate her name?
No surprise. So these two, Megan and Joe, were drug addicts that didn't have family, and they were always fucking up. Just had gotten out of, jail for something, and when they went missing, it was one of those things where people were like, well, they went back on a bender, or they're back in jail, or that they didn't have people really looking for these two. So they actually, that was a long time ago. They found these bodies. They had been missing since December of 2015. During interrogation, he admitted to the shooting at Superbike Motorsports, the murder of Charles Carver, the abduction of Kayla Brown, and the murder of Johnny and Megan Cohey.
So while in custody, Todd was visited by his mother and more confessions were made. He admitted to his mother that he was a murderer, listing off the names of victims police already knew about. His mother asked how many victims he had murdered in total, and his response was, and I quote, "You do not have enough fingers."
Damn.
Mom.
Mom.
You have enough fingers, Mom. Where's my goldfish? Where's my hamster?
Are you going to give me that
He's
fucking
like,
hamster
still
now?
Such a piece of shit.
Dude, and also, you don't have enough fingers?
Like, please.
More than 10? Whoa,
Yeah,
big
yeah.
whoop.
Yeah.
He's probably lying. There's probably 9.
We were debating that where it's like once you kind of start, maybe he's lying about stuff. I don't know. But yeah. He's all kinds of, he's borderline, he's narcissistic, he's probably
Yeah.
But he is
pathological,
murdering.
sociopath. I mean, he's all the things.
Yeah.
But he's actually killing. So he's not a
Actually
liar.
killing and raping,
Well,
yeah.
That's fucked.
Todd then claimed that he had killed at least one additional victim in Arizona, proving that Todd was either mentally retarded or one of those infuriating jackasses that say, "I don't have 10 fingers. I've got 8 fingers and 2 thumbs."
Nice.
Oh, damn it.
Todd was charged with 7 counts of murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 3 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. On May 26,
No rape charges?
2017, he already got...
Fuck.
Dude, he went to prison
He
and
went
served
to
time
prison for
for
15
those.
years for rape.
But what
Tabula
about-
rasa.
But that was
clean
the other
slate.
one, not the one that was. What about the one he had tied up?
He got charged for those also, but he took a plea deal or a plea bargain. So on May 26, 2017, he pleaded guilty to 7 counts of murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of sexual assault.
There it is.
Instead of being given the death penalty, Todd took a plea bargain, resulting in being sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences without possibility of parole. He is currently in prison in the Broad River Secure Facility in Columbia, South Carolina.
So,
Fuck
he's
that
there.
Dude.
What?
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Not a big fan.
Wait, why would you be
You're
mad?
not a big fan?
Dude,
Yeah.
What is
have
it
you
that you
seen
don't like?
his motorcycle?
stuff.
It's the rape stuff. Yeah, he says it's
Oh,
the rape
yeah, that's-
stuff.
I like what
That's
he
always
did to
kind of a
those
bummer.
skater kids. I like what he did to them.
I convinced you on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
So interestingly, Kayla Brown, the person that was abducted, there's full like Reddit and Facebook threads about her, indiscretions
She want to
after.
bang him?
She got arrested for
We did
meth
go in the
hidden
box.
in McGriddle wrappers.
Wait, what?
Yeah. There's mugshot of her. The other thing is she got arrested for domestic violence. Kayla Brown, victim of serial killer Todd Kohlhepp, accused of assaulting boyfriend in Greenville.
Yeah, she learned some tricks.
So
Dude,
she's
he-
like, of
He
course.
made a monster.
Yeah, or I think he was trying to abduct another couple that maybe already had some shit or was like had problems or something.
Another couple that was down to clown.
Down to clown, and no one else would be looking for them, right? Like, oh, they're drug addicts, abusers, whatever. Like, they went off, they're missing, and it didn't really go that way. Basically, like her family and
Cared about
people
her.
were looking for them in a way that he didn't think was going to happen, right? So that was his undoing, or else he would have done this a lot. He had a lot of listings. He had a lot of people cleaning his house, or he did handyman work for people. Like, he could have just kept this going, killed Kayla, traded her out for another one, which is probably what happened with Megan, right?
Damn.
So Kayla's still on these streets doing some hiding meth in McGriddle wrappers and beating up her boyfriend,
that's-
but it doesn't mean that she needs to be chained up in a shipping container, right?
No, not
But-
before. After the fact.
Yeah.
Does she
So-
live in Austin? We should hang out with her.
So I think ultimately what we learned is that Todd Kohlhepp was kind of Batman.
Serving
Vigi-
justice. Yeah.
Vigilante,
he
like
was a
we're actually cool
vigilante.
with the motorcycle shop. We're cool with.
We're not cool with the rape. The only
No, we're not cool with
The only man that we're cool with raping is Mike Tyson. That's it.
That's right.
Everyone else can go.
Everyone else can
Everyone
go.
can go to jail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, we love it.
Yes.
Rape all you want.
Rape all you want.
All right, there's the official endorsement of the first
the
public
podcast.
episode of
Three
Crime
Mustaches.
Corner.
Yeah.
We're not cool with rape.
But if
like,
you're Mike Tyson,
But it's Mike Tyson. It's like, she didn't want to?
Yeah. Wasn't it his wife or something?
No, that was hitting. So he hit her. But she was lying too. I mean, apparently, according to the court case, I think he did time for that, actually.
He did his time and got out. Yeah. He was accused and did his time.
Right. Keep it in the ring. You know?
Keep it in the ring.
So this has been a great first public episode of Crime Corner.
I think
exonerating rapists and murderers. I'm not saying that there was anything that we said that we didn't, that I personally don't believe.
Right. So we stand by it.
You know what? If you're not down to clown, then get the fuck out.
Then get the fuck out. Down to clown. I probably would have said that if I walked into the skate.
Yo, y'all down to clown?
Hey, is anyone? I'm down to clown. Can you guys sell me a? You know what I mean?
You got any berries?
Remember down to clown? Oh.
I'm not hip with the lingo these days. I'm getting old.
But it's becoming cool again. Down to clown. I'm gonna use that.
So it's like
It's the bomb, and I'm down to clown.
Bell bottoms of colloquialisms.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Never heard Down the Clown, to be honest.
It's a handful of other things I'd like to bring back from the past, but we'll talk about that after the show.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Getting pills easily. Do you know what I mean? Like,
whatever happened to Quaaludes?
remember the opioid crisis? Quotation marks. Not for me. It was great. My most productive years. But anyway, official endorsement of the show.
Don't be a rapist.
Don't be a rapist.
Don't be a rapist. All consensual.
Yep.
Go
Murder
hard.
if it's deserved.
Go hard if you're welcome to go hard. Be careful about going too hard because if you go too hard, might do a little damage.
Sure.
Rip some soft tissue loose.
Right.
Some things might fall out.
Yeah.
And eventually,
consensual prolapse only.
There it is.
There we go. He's like, how far do I have to go with the soft tissue stuff before she says prolapse? Joel's uncomfortable as shit over there. Congrats, guys. Congrats. We lost all our listeners. Yeah. Okay.